विहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदनंदना व्रज जनरंजना। यशोदनंदना व्रज जनरंजना। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदनंदना व्रज जनरंजना। यशोदनंदना व्रज जनरंजना। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदनंदना व्रज जनरंजना। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदनंदना व्रज जनरंजना। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे हरे। हरे राम राम हरे हरे। जय राधा श्याम सुंदर राधा श्याम सुंदर राधे। जय राधा श्याम सुंदर राधा श्याम सुंदर राधे। जय जगन्नाथ जय बलादेवा जय सुभद्रा। जय गौरनिता जय गौरानिता जय गौरानिता जय गौरनिता। जय सच्चिनंदना जय सच्चिनंदना जय सच्चिनंदना गौर हरे। जय सच्चिनंदना जय सच्चिनंदना जय सच्चिनंदना गौर हरे। गौरा गौरा गौर हरि। गौरा गौरा गौर हरि। निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल। निताय गौर हरि बोल। नदिया बिहारी गौर हरि। मायापुर चंद्रा गौर हरि। गौरा गौरा गौर हरि। गौरा गौरा गौर हरि। निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल। निताय गौर हरि बोल। जय प्रभु पदा जय जय प्रभुपाद। गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राज काचार्य अष्टोत्तर शतश्री श्रीमती द्रविड़ के जैसी भक्ति वेदांत संस्कृतपाद की जय। एवं विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राज काचार्य अष्टोत्तर शतश्री श्रीमती द्रविड़ के शिल भक्ति सिद्धांत ठाकुर गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की जय। नमाचार्य की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। व्रजभूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय। नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की जय। श्री क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। गंगामय यमुनामयी की जय। भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय। समवेत भक्त वृंद की जय। हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। All glories to assembled bodies, Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled bodies, Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled bodies, Hare Krishna. All glories, all glories, all glories, all glories. Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga. Gopal की जय। ओम विष्णु पदाय कृष्ण विष्टाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी राम नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचार निर्विशेष शून्यवाद पच्चांत। Thank you all for joining. Reading from Bhagavad Gita. Let me share. Reading from chapter 6, new chapter today. Verse number 1. We'll only cover one. Try to finish soon. We'll have to read a lot today from Chaitanya Bhagavat and Chaitanya Mangal. So, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Avirbhav appearance is approaching very fast. So we have a lot to describe and understand the mood and the mercy of Acharyas. So, give me a minute. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayat Nasta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Harihi Om Tat Sat. Thank you all for joining. Reading from chapter 6 of Bhagavad Gita, verse number 1. Very nice verse, important verse. Sri Bhagavan Vacha Anasrita Karma Phalam Karyam Karma Karoti Yaha Sa Sannyasi Cha Yogi Cha Na Niragnirna Cha Akriyaha. Sri Bhagavan Vacha Anasrita karma phalam karyam karma karoti yaha sa sannyasi cha yogi cha na niragnirna cha akriyaha. Sri Bhagavan Vacha Anasrita karma phalam karyam karma karoti yaha sa sannyasi cha yogi cha na niragnirna cha akriyaha. Word to word. Sri Bhagavan Vacha, the Lord said, Anasritaha, without taking shelter, karma phalam, of the result of work, karyam, obligatory, karma, work, karoti, performs, ya, one who, sa, he, sannyasi, in the renounced order, cha, also, yogi, mystic, cha, also, na, not, ni, without, agni, fire, na, not, cha, also, akriya, without duty. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Ki Jai. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, one who is unattached to the fruits of his work and who works as he is obligated is in the renounced order of life, and he is the true mystic, not he who lights no fire and performs no duty. Please repeat. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, one who is unattached to the fruits of his work and who works as he is obligated is in the renounced order of life, and he is the true mystic, not he who lights no fire and performs no duty. Try to quickly read the purport. One verse only we are going to cover. In this chapter, the Lord explains that the process of the eightfold yoga system is a means to control the mind and the senses. However, this is very difficult for people in general to perform, especially in the age of Kali. Although the eightfold yoga system is recommended in this chapter, the Lord emphasizes that the process of karma yoga or acting in Krishna consciousness is better. Everyone acts in this world to maintain his family and their paraphernalia, but no one is working without self-interest, some personal gratification, be it concentrated or extended. The criteria of perfection is to act in Krishna consciousness, not with a view to enjoying the fruits of work. To act in Krishna consciousness is the duty of every living entity, because all are constitutionally parts and parcels of the Supreme. The parts of the body work for the satisfaction of the whole body. The limbs of the body do not act for self-satisfaction, but for the satisfaction of the complete whole. Similarly, the living entity who acts for the satisfaction of the Supreme whole and not for personal satisfaction is a perfect sannyasi or perfect yogi. The sannyasis sometimes artificially think that they have become liberated from all material duties, and therefore cease to perform Agnihotra yajnas or fire sacrifices, but actually they are self-interested because their goal is to become one with the impersonal Brahman. Such a desire is greater than any material desire, but it is not without self-interest. Similarly, the mystic yogi who practices the yoga system with half-open eyes, ceasing all material activities, desires some satisfaction for his personal self. But a person acting in Krishna consciousness works for the satisfaction of the whole without self-interest. A Krishna conscious person has no desire for self-satisfaction. His criteria of success is the satisfaction of Krishna, and thus he is the perfect sannyasi or perfect yogi. Lord Chaitanya, the highest perfectional symbol of the renunciation, prays in this way. Na dhanam na janam na sundarim kavitam va jagadish kamaye mama janmane janmane isware bhavatat bhakti rahitu ki toi. So, a very nice verse. O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor to enjoy beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. What I want only is the causeless mercy of your devotional service in my life, birth after birth. We'll try to understand this verse. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmenitam Yana Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah. Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langete Girim Yatkrupa Tamham Vande Sri Gurum Denatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Iswaram Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo. Vaishnava ki Jai. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद. हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकम्. श्री रूप गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय. श्री प्रभुपाद की जय. गौर भक्त वृंद की जय. Thank you all for joining. So, the sixth chapter, this is the new chapter we are beginning. We'll try to understand first the sections, how this sixth chapter is laid out, and why Lord Krishna is speaking. Arjuna is not asking any question before this, but Lord Krishna started speaking this sixth chapter. So, what is the reason? So, then we'll try to understand why Lord Krishna is speaking this Astanga Yoga in Bhagavad Gita. What could be the reasons, direct and indirect purposes of Krishna explaining this, and the connection to fifth chapter and sixth chapter, and what are some of the things as even those who are practitioners of Bhakti Yoga can learn some of the aspects, and then we'll understand the instruction from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, from different acharyas, Chaitanya Mangal and Chaitanya Bhagavat, especially the important aspects of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu discussing with Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, very, very prominent and important. And Lord Chaitanya is visiting South India. So that's what we'll cover today. Now, sixth chapter has 6 sections. The first section, 1 to 4, today's first section, 1 to 4 is advancing in yoga through detached work. That is the first section, 1 to 4. Then the second section is 5 to 9, yoga ruda stage, giving up work. Then the third section is 10 to 32, further stages in practice of yoga, or it can be also called Astanga Yoga sadhana, or it can be also called Aru Rukshu to Aru Ruda. Aru Rukshu is the beginning stage, Aru Ruda is Aruda, Yoga Ruda. Aru Rukshu is the beginning, and Yoga Ruda is the highest stage. That is the third section, 10 to 32, lot of verses. That is a big step, lot of details Krishna explains. And the fourth section is 33 to 36, necessity of controlling turbulent mind. And then the 37 to 45 is fifth section, destination of unsuccessful yogi. And then the last section is the sixth section, 46 to 47. I have to mute. Okay, good now. Thank you. So destination of topmost yogi. Destination of unsuccessful yogi is the fifth section, 37 to 45, and the sixth section is 46 to 47, topmost yogi. Now, so far Arjuna has asked how many questions? 5 questions. In this chapter, there are 2 important questions comes up, and Lord Arjuna is expressing in front of Lord Krishna. The first question is asked in chapter 2 about explain about the Sthita Prajna, one who is the self-realized soul. How does he act? How does he work? How does he walk? How does he talk? Means basically, whatever his characteristics of his behavior, basically, how he teaches, how he acts in his own life. That is the prominent, first and foremost important aspect. Because before that, Krishna is speaking Nishkama Karma. In the first time, Lord Krishna is speaking Nishkama Karma from all the way from 2.41 to 53. 54 is when Arjuna is asking first question. And then the second question is asked in the third chapter beginning, when Arjuna was bewildered because contents of Gita summarize second chapter, where Lord Krishna is presented with Sankhya Yoga, then Karma Yoga, then Nishkama Karma Yoga, then this Samadhi, or process of bhakti at a very high level, path of perfection, or qualities of a self-realized soul. So that is from all the way from 54 to 72. So in this way, Lord Krishna presented from the beginning to end in a very systematic way. But Arjuna was bewildered because last few section is talking about how not about doing so much about work and using your intelligence. Arjuna understood that way. So then that's when the third chapter begins, Karma Yoga, and then he's asking, you want me to work, or why are you asking me to engage in this ghastly warfare? That was the second question. So this is just to, especially Arjuna became the actual instrument in the hand of Lord Krishna to resolve all our doubts and questions. And then the third question is coming in the same chapter, 3.36. Why somebody is forced to act impiously, forced to act sinful activities, as somebody is forcing him to do, even though he doesn't want to do, but somehow or the other he is being forced to do. Why? So then Krishna explains that. That is the third question. Very importantly, Gita, we must understand the whole concept, why Krishna is speaking in each and every, what he is speaking, and what is the connection, why he is speaking at certain points, certain things. This is very important to understand. Then we can connect, and it makes it easy for us to apply in our practical life. Then the fourth question is asking in the fourth chapter, He is talking about, you are talking that I have given this transcendental knowledge to before to Vivaswan and various others, but they are not here. They are senior to you. How come you are my friend? How come how you are saying that you have spoken to before? Can you explain? That was the fourth question in the fourth chapter beginning. Now the fifth question is in the Karma Yoga, action and Krishna consciousness. Now, if you look at, already I explained in yesterday's class also, in Gita class, that this why Krishna is speaking, second chapter all the way from 41 to 53, Niskama Karma Yoga. He spent enough time talking about Niskama Karma Yoga. Then the third chapter also, in between, in the middle, he is talking about karma, vikarma, akarma. He is talking about how not to be attached to the results. In a not great detail, but at some extent, directly and indirectly. But fourth chapter also, transcendental knowledge, the last sections, it seemingly not do any work kind of. Arjuna understood that, so he was bewildered. Fifth chapter beginning, again he is asking the same question. Your instructions are equivocal. You are asking me to renounce, and at the same time you are asking me to work. What do you want me to do? Now sixth chapter beginning, again same thing is happening. So kamyanam karmanam nyasam, there. Here anasritya karma phalam. Similar, same aspects is mentioning in a different way here, but it is the same aspect. Arjuna's doubt is still again and again coming up. But the Nishkama karma is being stressed in the second chapter, third chapter, fourth chapter, fifth chapter also heavily stressed. Action and Krishna consciousness is karma yoga. With the transcendental knowledge you got now, you must act without be attached to the result. That's the fifth chapter. And then sixth chapter now is bringing the Astanga Yoga. The reason for Krishna bringing Nishkama karma is to one must give up. One must free. If you want, somebody has to come to the platform of bhakti. The prerequisite is, yes, of course, we'll discuss about that. There are different stages. But if you want to come to that highest stage, beginning of highest stage, pre-qualified into Vraja Bhakti, Vraja Prema, then you must become free from desires, free from material desires. Spiritual desires you can have, serving Krishna, serving his devotees in whatever rasa milos. That is perfect. That is the stage we have to come to. So that's why Lord Krishna has to speak this, stress this, these many times, these many chapters, from chapter 2 all the way to chapter 5, again and again. He speaks continuously this point. This is the one aspect. Now in the sixth chapter, the fifth chapter, as I mentioned in the first verse, that's what Arjuna's dilemma, whether to work or renounce the work. What do you want me to do? And then again, so then the sixth question is asked in this chapter 33, after Krishna explaining Astanga Yoga, where he is been, especially Arjuna became very much disturbed. Means you are describing all this so much yoga process, Astanga Yoga, very, very difficult. Is very difficult. It is almost like controlling the wind. So it's not possible. It is impossible task what you are describing. So that is the fifth question. That is the sixth question. Sorry. In this chapter there are two questions, and the seventh question is asking in the sixth chapter is what happens, because he is presenting, oh, I might be unsuccessful. I am so much bewildered. I have so many questions. I have so many doubts. I don't want to fight and dilemma. So he's just presenting like that. So that's the seventh question. What happens to the unsuccessful? Okay, maybe I may give up and run away. Then what happens to me? Or I might start war and then I may give up, or I may die, or what happens to that? I may not have perfected my life. Then what happens to me? So the unsuccessful yogi, what happens? That was the second question in 6.37. 33 was the first one in the sixth chapter, and 37 was the second question. So in this way, two questions, sixth and so far 7 questions asked in the till 6 chapters. Now so let's understand from what is the connection. Why Krishna is speaking this sixth chapter? Why Lord Krishna is speaking this Astanga Yoga process? If you look at in the fifth chapter beginning, what did Lord Krishna start? He's already started describing about Astanga Yoga process. If you read, he has mentioned 3 things at the end. Bhoktaram Ignatapasam Sarvaloka Mahesram Surudam Sarvabhotmam Gnatmamam Shantam Mucchati. So Bhokta, I am the supreme enjoyer. So, and then I am the supreme controller, Sarvaloka Maheswaram. I am the supreme friend, I am the topmost friend, I am the dearmost, Suhurdam Sarvabhutanam. So I am the supreme maintainer. So everybody must depend on me. So that is the point. But before the two verses before that, you look at is talking about shutting out all external sense objects, keeping the eyes and vision concentrated between two eyebrows, suspending the inward and outward breaths within nostrils, and thus controlling the mind, senses, intelligence. Transcendentalist aiming at liberation become free from the desire, fear, and anger. One who is always in this state is certainly liberated. This is in 28th, 27th, 27, 28, both two verses together. So this way, that's why Krishna now he has given the hints. But if he doesn't discuss, then again Arjuna will have doubts. So that's why, without even Arjuna asking, Lord Krishna started describing this. That is the one way to understand. Now the why Lord Krishna is presenting, why Lord has to present about why Krishna could have discussed Bhakti Yoga directly. Why Lord has to discuss about Karma Yoga, especially Nishkama Karma, and then why Lord has to discuss Astanga Yoga. So let's look at this is my some of the reflections. Just that's why I was concentrating just one verse today, because important verse to understand. So the first point is everyone is can try to come to the perfection, because not everybody is at PhD level. Somebody might be only 10th grade, somebody intermediate. So nobody is bar. So everybody has to start somewhere. So somebody might be just interested in initially fruitive activities. They might be attached to just demigod worship, may not be uh, worshipping Lord Krishna. So still for them also at least, okay, all right, you start somewhere, but slowly, gradually understand. Then you need to have a bhakti included. Then you will be able to come to Vaikuntha. Until you include bhakti in your process, you cannot enter into bhakti. That is one of the reason why Lord Krishna is describing about other process also, karma yoga also, so that everybody. There is one of the other reasons you will see. Then you will understand why Krishna is. Second aspect Lord Krishna is presenting, because for everybody, anybody and everybody, controlling the senses is important. Otherwise, there is no, you can go on and on. There is will not be no satisfaction with whatever we have. We might have so much, but still not satisfied. There is no control. Controlling the senses is very important, especially for process of bhakti. It's also very, very important. That is the prerequisite. That is the first step. That is the second point. Second reason. Third reason is one who is too much attached to the body. This will describe also in second chapter, in the second canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Parikshit Maharaj is asking Sukadeva Goswami. Parikshit Maharaj is just born and he was protected. He was just born and he is asked, he is about to die in 7 days. And then that's when second chapter, second canto of Srimad Bhagavatam begins. Parikshit Maharaj asking Sukadeva Goswami. And then there itself, Parikshit Maharaj didn't directly jump into bhakti. He is describing this yoga process there also. And there we will read one verse. So because one who is too much attached to the body, for them this is recommended. So to follow this process, too much attached to the body. That is the third reason. The fourth reason is before presenting topmost process, something lesser. Because if you want to understand about some platinum or diamond, some other things or some other important things, like if you want to understand the very tastiness of mango, then when you taste other fruit, then you know what is the highest, the king of all the fruits is mango. If you don't know about taste, then you will not know. So that's why when you know about other things, what is there, then you know the value of that highest thing. So that's why Krishna is presenting other process also, Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Astanga Yoga, all these. So that then in the middle, the Bhakti Yoga is present. So that then we understand the topmost and the value of Bhakti Yoga. So that is one of the reason. Then another reason is there are many on the battlefield. If you look at Lord Krishna is speaking on the battlefield directly in front of, before the war began, 45 minutes only. Lord Krishna didn't speak for like us. We are discussing, we are still in 6th chapter, almost a year and a half or something. This is the second batch. So we are supposed to complete it, but just because the way we run in here, even in India, it's most complex world we are in. So it takes a long time. So I can jump and go very quickly, but it's very difficult to pick up and understand. So that's why it takes time. But Lord Krishna only spoke 45 minutes. 45 minutes only, the whole Bhagavad Gita. So you can understand the Arjuna's wavelength and Krishna's wavelength. They both wavelength, he is able to understand, even though he is asking questions, but he is able to understand what Krishna is speaking. For us, it will never be. Somebody speaks Bhagavad Gita. I was thinking for quite some time, we'll see. Guru's mercy is there, presenting Bhagavad Gita in 4 or 8 sessions, whole Bhagavad Gita. That thought is there, but without the mercy of Guru, it's not going to happen. So that is the fifth reason why Lord Krishna is presenting this Astanga Yoga, because there are many souls like Duryodhana, Dhritarashtra, Duryodhana, he may never get it anything, at least, but put him on side. But there are others, various souls, except there are only few devotees: Bhishma, Dronacharya, Krupacharya, and Arjuna, and very few. And then obviously, who is in distance, Dhritarashtra secretary Sanjaya, he is a devotee, he is Vyasadev's disciple. So he could understand, he is seeing already the television, the whole thing end to end, every secret he knows, because that has been the mercy of Vyasadeva. So that's why Krishna has to present, because all others also has to get some advantage of Krishna speaking. That's why he's presenting all these other process also, because they are not bhaktas, they are not devotees. That's why Krishna is speaking in some of the cases again and again, confidential. Even though they may not get it, but at least other things they can pick up and start going, progressing next level, next stage. And then the last point, this is for a general understanding why Krishna is speaking Karma Yoga, Nishkama Karma, and Astanga Yoga, specifically the reasons. The last reason, sixth reason, is Sakama Bhaktas. This is for devotees more, but we will come to the two important aspects of why for devotees this chapter also. Some of the levels indirectly important. Sakama Bhaktas, because not everybody is Nishkam. Even within the bhakti, there are Sakama Bhakta and Nishkama Bhakta. Sakama Bhakta means bhakti having desires. Bhakti. He is approaching Lord Krishna just like Dhruva Maharaj. He is worshipping Lord Vishnu, but he was not Nishkam. He went with the desire. Chaturvida bhajante mam jana sukritano Arjuna. That's how 7th chapter starts. But he is laying the ground here. In 6th chapter, he is laying the ground. Is laying the first 6 chapters are laying the ground, foundation, tilling the ground so that fertile. Then you can instruct on bhakti. Directly you jump to bhakti, then you will not understand what Krishna is speaking here. So that's why Sakama Bhakta, those who have desires but wants to worship Lord Krishna. So that's why this process is there. Because he has to slowly, Sakama Bhakta has to become Nishkama Bhakta. He has to free from desires or giving up attachment. Giving up attachment. This is internal, not external. Whenever I say giving up attachment, understand that it is internal. Giving up attachment means it is internal, or detachment, for that say. Attachment to Krishna has to be there, and detachment from all other things. Means if you have attachment for family, attachment for money, attachment, everything you can have, provided that is in relation with Krishna. Yes, my family members are Krishna servants. They are also souls. They are also servants of Krishna. Everybody is a servant of part and parcel of Krishna. Money, who has? When we are born, no clothes, nothing. We are born, nothing we didn't bring. When we are going to leave, nothing will be there. Everything will be gone. So not a single thing we can take away. Only Lord Krishna, when he appeared, he has all the ornaments. When he appeared to Devaki and Vasudeva. We are not like that. We are ordinary living entities. So that's why, we must develop that. Everything we see in the purview of Lord Krishna's energy and resources. That's why everything must be utilized very carefully. Every penny. Even though we are working. That's why this 6th chapter, first verse is significant for bhaktas also. Now I am coming to that point. The two important aspects of for bhaktas, devotees, for this verse. Anasritya karyam, karma phalam, karyam karma karodya. Sa sannyasi, niragni nacha akriya. So, anasritya karma phalam. One must not be attached to the results of the work. Asrita means taking shelter. Anasrita means not taking shelter. Of what? Karma phala. Don't be attached to the results. Don't be attached. That is the most important point in this. So then what does it imply to devotees? The two aspects. Utterly dependent on the Supreme Lord. I'll give you example. Like when we are born, like a child, when as a child is dependent on who? Child is not dependent on his by himself? No. Is it utterly dependent on the mother only? Is always crying and making all tantrums, whatnot. I want food, I want this toy, I want moon, I want this, so many things. Whatever he wants is dependent on mother only. More than father generally, especially in the very early stages, is dependent mainly on father, mainly on mother. Is utterly dependent, is crying all the time. And mother knows exactly what he needs. Why is he crying? Whether he is crying fake or is real. Mother knows exactly. So the same way, so the Lord Krishna is describing here anasrita karma phalam, because yes, you have all the desires, but you must depend on me. If you want to worship me, if you think I am the master and you are the servant, for servant you don't need to be attached to result, because I am giving everything. When you are born, you didn't bring anything, and when you are going to go leave this body also, you are not going to have anything. Then why to be attached to things away from Krishna? Yes, if you want to be attached, yes, this is Krishna's. This car is Krishna, this is Krishna's, everything is Krishna's. I have to very carefully protect it and use it in Krishna. That is great, but that is the job of a servant. What servant will do? Make sure that everything is used properly, very nicely service is done, it must give pleasure to the master. That is the job of a very nice servant, humble, menial servant job. So that's what Krishna is stressing indirectly. Anasritya karma phalam means don't be attached to the results. Because there will be so many agitation as a devotee also, so many agitation, so many complaints, so many criticism. Whether you are in the don't think that if you come to ISKCON temple there will not be any problem. No. Problem is there wherever you are, whether brahmachari, vanaprastha, sannyas, grihastha, or brahmana, kshatriya, vaisya, shudra, or whether you are in temple or whether you are in a holy place, wherever you are, the problems are always there. But how the devotee treats it, how he will not be attached to anything, because he is utterly dependent on the master, supreme master, Sri Krishna. So that's why he will not be attached to anything. Why will he be attached to this person is saying something, this problem, that problem? Because he knows master is there, master is going to protect me, master is going to resolve all these problems. I have to do work, but he will not be so much, okay, problem come, let me do. So the second aspect, this is utterly dependence on Krishna. That is the first aspect. The second aspect is dasya anugatya. Anugatya means he must feel like a servant. I am hopeless case. My situation is hopeless, because there is no way. I am neither materially qualified, not spiritually qualified. We are not CEOs of the companies. Materially also we are not. We don't have extra. Especially myself, I don't have any qualification whatsoever. To come to US also, I don't have a single qualification. But by Krishna's arrangement, somehow or other, I was kicked out to New Jersey. I'm able to connect to the service of the Supreme Lord. This is just impossible task, but somehow or the other, this is just purely the mercy of Srila Prabhupada and devotees and some Sukriti from mother and father and my grandfather. Otherwise, it is not possible. We don't have any material qualification. A spiritual qualification, forget it. We don't even have it. So that's why we must be, so one must not give up service at any time. No matter what, I must engage in the service of Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. One is utterly dependent on Krishna. Second aspect is one must never give up service to Supreme Lord Krishna. One must do service always, always. No matter what, at any time, whoever comes, whoever, they may kick me out, they may do whatever they want to do. But I should never give up service. So that's why, because when he says anasritya karma phalam, for devotee, this is what it means. Don't be, because you are attached to results. Oh, somebody said this. I'm doing service for so long. I was cleaning the pots for years and years. Or I was, doing so many 10s and 20s different services I'm doing, giving up every other thing, and I'm doing service for Krishna and for a temple. And then why this man is saying something, why authority is saying this, why they are neglecting me, why they are not giving respect, why they are not doing this, why they are not giving this, that. So many things we may face. Forget, are they master? No. Who is the master? Master is Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. Master is Guru. Master is Srila Prabhupada. Previous acharyas. They are not the master. They are just via media. Guru is giving the service through them. That doesn't mean they are the master. Master is only Supreme Lord Shri Krishna and Guru and Prabhupada and previous acharyas. Previous through Krishna, the previous acharya is like a chain. It comes through Guru. Service comes through always through Guru only. Don't be mistaken that, don't have mistaken idea that somebody is my master. No, the real master is Krishna and Guru. So that's it is very, very important. Utterly dependence on Krishna. Never give up Krishna's service. Let the whole world say whatever they want to say. And there is a nice pastime, Lord Jagannath's pastime also in this case. I recently heard King, what's the name? Jagannath temple in Orissa, Ramachandra, King Ramachandra Dev too, second too. So that time this Aurangzeb was ruling, and then he sent his Taki Khan. It's very, very top fighter under Aurangzeb. He sent. Then obviously our king, this Ramachandra Dev was a great devotee of Lord Jagannath. He was a king and he's already married. He has a wife and kids also. But Taki Khan wanted to, no, you have to marry my sister. You have to marry. So otherwise, I will destroy your temple, Lord Jagannath temple. So Ramachandra Dev. So Ramachandra Dev, he was a king. What people will think, what his wife will think, what everybody else will think, even the Pandas, everybody will think. He was meditating on this. He was presented. He was praying, utterly dependent on Lord Jagannath. He was so ardent devotee of Lord Jagannath. He was completely dependent on, and he never wanted to give up service for anybody. He knows he is the only master. So he completely dependent on. But what to do? But he is after me. But he said something. He will destroy. For Lord's pleasure, if something to protect the Lord, he can take whatever, even if everything else, everybody else is going to become against him. So he gave up. He didn't care about anybody else because he has to protect the Lord's Jagannath temple. He simply he said, all right, I'm going to marry. And then he married. He's a Muslim. He's a Hindu. And how he is going to enter into temple? How he will do service? So and everybody else gave up. The queens gave up. The previous queens, everybody left him. The Pandas didn't allow him to come to temple. Nothing. So his condition was like is the most difficult situation. So and he couldn't even enter into the temple. Forget about service. So this was the situation. So every day he used to go to Lord Jagannath temple outside, and he was crying to Lord Jagannath. See, I am your servant. You are my master. You have to do something. So you have to protect me. You have to engage me in service. Without service, I cannot live. I cannot stay. I cannot stay in this body without serving you. So what I will do? Please help me. Please help me. I am your servant. Please help me. Very sincerely he was praying, crying and praying. So every day in front of Lord Jagannath, and then Lord Jagannath used to go every day. After the whole darshan is closed, the temple is closed, Lord Jagannath used to go and give darshan, special darshan to this king. So after some time, after a few days, then Lord Jagannath spoke in a dream to this, to the pujari. Pujari recognized something is happening. Flowers are fell, and then Uttariya fell. Different indications are showing up. Something is happening here. Doesn't seem something is, astonishing things are happening. Then he was praying to Lord Jagannath, and Lord Jagannath revealed what's happening. Then he said, you must allow this king to engage in service. He's not at fault actually. He was my great devotee. So then Pujari immediately understood Lord Jagannath's instructions, and then in that way this king has been engaged again, allowed and engaged in the service of the Supreme Lord. See, this is the utterly dependent on. He is not, and he is never want to give up service because this problem, because somebody said this, because somebody kicked me out. He didn't care about anybody else. Obviously, we are not in that situation. We will not be, because if we are capable of handling the situation, then only we will be put in that situation. So, Lord will give strength. The difficulty will come, and also, if you are sincere, Lord will give also strength to come out of the situation and see, from positive reflection why this difficulty has come. What Lord wants me to do. So, all those will come when we are sincere. So that's why now we understand the 6 general reasons why Lord Krishna is presenting Astanga Yoga. Then now we understand also the 2 important prominent reasons why Lord Krishna is stressing on anasritya karma phalam. What is the time? So that's why 7:50. See, that's why I didn't want to even go detail other verses. This itself it took a long time to discuss. Just this important, just a few points. I was just reflecting on today only. These few points came up to the mind. So we'll read, and also this is Astanga Yoga. So what does Astanga Yoga mean? I thought I will end today at 8, but doesn't seem like it. So Astanga Yoga, just to quickly run through in a quick, there's 8 steps which talks about. First step is Yama, which is controlling the senses, and Niyama is regulative principles. Regulative principles means like waking up early in the morning, all those things. Fasting for Ekadasi, all those are regulative. Regulation, because yoga means to regulate. So all ashramas are to regulate our life in terms of eating habits, sleeping habits, all these we must regulate. That is what regulative principle means. But in a positive way, using our body to engaging in the service of the Lord. So waking up early is a regulative principle. Chanting is regulative principle. Eating only Krishna Prasad is regulative principle. So all these are niyama. Then asana is practicing sitting postures. We are not able to sit even half an hour, 1 hour. Imagine, this is very difficult in Kali Yuga. And then pranayam is breathing exercise. Then it has kumbhaka, rechaka, all these are there. Inhaling and exhaling. That itself is a very difficult step to come to that. And then pratyahar. So senses are withdrawn like a tortoise. Example, tortoise will withdraw all its limbs at any time, and when he sees somebody is trying to harm me, then immediately it will withdraw, and the shell is so hard from outside. So that is like that. Pratyahar means you have to withdraw. That's why anasritya karma phala, first verse Krishna is speaking. Even for Astanga Yoga is also very important. If he is attached to things, then he can never come to the pratyahar stage. Right? He has to withdraw. His senses has to withdraw from all objects. All his attachment, he has to withdraw. Otherwise, he cannot even come to. This is the even the 6th step. He cannot even cross 6th step. In today's world, whatever you name it, Vihanga Yoga, Kriya Yoga, hundreds of yogas are there now. So many gymnastics, so many types. But they cannot even cross the 6th step, pratyahar. They want to drink this, they want to eat this, that, so many things. And they think that they don't need to give up anything. They just can practice this yoga and they can perfect. But it is not possible. Because pratyahar, without pratyahar, there is no way further steps. Pratyahar means senses has to be withdrawn from all these worldly things. So then dharana, dhyana, then meditation. If you don't even withdraw senses from other things, what you are going to meditate on? Meditate on what? Meditate on material objects only you will meditate. So that's why then dhyana cannot happen without pratyahar. Then you have dharana. Dhyana is first meditation, initial meditation, but it may not be fixed. Mind might be going here, there, a little bit here, there. Then dharana. Dharana is fixed up meditation. So then samadhi. When fixed up meditation starts happening, maybe a little bit here and there, not complete 100% fully pure and focused. Then the samadhi. These are the 8 stages. 8 steps of Astanga Yoga. Yeah, correct. Astanga Yoga. That's why it is mentioned. And then Prabhupada gives, or Acharyas give, not only meditate for another instruction why for devotees this is important is, but preach. So not only meditate on the Lord's form, for devotees meditating on the Lord's personal form. But one must preach, one must distribute prasad, distribute books, give whatever you know, just talk about Krishna to others. That is our preaching. We don't need to become scholars. That is what. So, Akilasya bandhaya muktaye tam manusmara sprutya varnayatha. So, without your ekagrena, without diverting your heart and mind to any other business, just meditate and distribute and engage as service of the Supreme Lord. So, try to contemplate or meditate on the activities of the Supreme Lord. Samadhana tad anusmara tad vichestitam. So, and now we'll read from the, and also the important instruction. So, Prabhupada quote this many times. The just in one verse, signifying verse from Prabodhananda Saraswati. Kaivalyam narakayate. So, Akasa disa, Tridasapura Akasa pushpayate. Durdhantra kala sarpa patli prokhata damstrayate. Vidhi Mahendra is Mahendra kitayate. Vistvam purna sukhayate. So, and then Prabhupada gives nice. Yeah. Kaivalyam narakayate tridasapura akasha pushpayate durdhantra indriya kala sarpapatli prokhata damstrayate viswampurna sukhayate vidhi mahendra adishya kitayate yat karunya kataksha vaibhavatam tam gauram evastumaha. This is Chaitanya Chandra Amruta Prabodhananda Saraswati, verse number 5. And then Prabhupada explains this in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 17, verse number 3 in the purport. Prabhupada explains. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has perfectly enunciated and broadcasted the process of Bhakti Yoga. Consequently, for one who has taken shelter at the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the highest perfection of Mayavadis, Kaivalya or becoming one with Supreme is considered hellish. That is the first line. Kaivalyam narakayate. For devotees, merging into Brahmana Palyam, this is like a hell. Next one is Tridasya Pura Akasa Pushpayate. These are the comparison given to the those who are after getting some benefits and pious activities and enjoy in this material world. Karmis. So, to say nothing of karmis, aspiration to be promoted to the heavenly planets. Devotees consider such goals to be worthless phantasmagoria. It's like a flower in the sky. Is there a flower in the sky? No, that's not there. So, seeming like the fruits appear, enjoyment and getting heavenly planets are in this material world itself getting higher and higher, becoming rich and whatnot. Enjoyment, different kinds of enjoyment people are looking for. But this is like the phantasmagoria. That's what it is going to be. And then the next line is talking about the yogis. Durdanta Indriya. Indriya means senses. Kala Sarpa Patli, Prokhata Damstrai. It is very difficult. That aspect Prabhupada is explaining this here. There are also yogis who try to control their senses, but they can never succeed without coming to the stage of devotion service. You see, they can never come into stage, especially in Kali Yuga. Forget it. And the Prabhupada gives example. The senses are compared to the poisonous snakes. The senses are compared to poisonous snakes. But the senses of Bhakta engaged in the service of the Lord are like the snakes with their poisonous fangs removed. So, that's what for devotees and yogis comparison is being given. Yogis try to suppress his senses artificially, but even great mystics like Vishwamitra fail in the attempt. Vishwamitra was conquered by his senses when he was captivated by Menaka during his meditation. She later gave birth to Shakuntala. So the wisest persons in this world, therefore, are the Bhakti yogis. And then Prabhupada is quoting the last verse of this chapter. You can see the significance of why Bhakti Yoga. So now, in the Parikshit Maharaj, Sukadeva Goswami, what Sukadeva Goswami is saying in the second canto, second chapter, verse number 15. I'm just quoting multiple verses are there on the same aspect, this Astanga Yoga process in brief. And there is also Uddhava Gita also. Next week when we discuss, we'll try to cover that aspect. That's why this first verse itself is significant. I'm just presenting some of the angles of vision. This is a very, very important verse of the Bhagavad Gita. Stiram sukam cha asanam astito yatir yada asur imam angalokam kale cha dese cha manona sajjayet pranan niyachen manasa jitasu. O king, whenever the yogi desires to leave this planet of human beings, he should not be perplexed about the proper time or place, but should comfortably sit without being disturbed, and regulating the life air, should control the senses by the mind. In Bhagavad Gita 8.14, it is clearly stated that a person who is totally engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord, who constantly remembers Him at every step. This is Abhyasa Yoga Yuktena Chetasa Nanyagama. That's what Prabhupada is quoting. Easily obtains the mercy of the Lord by entering into His personal contact. Such devotees do not need to seek an opportune moment to leave the present body. But those who are mixed devotees, this mixed devotees means Sakama Bhakta, Karma Mishra Bhakti, Gnana Mishra Bhakti, Yoga Mishra Bhakti. Krishna is presenting, as I mentioned, 5-6 reasons, in that is also there. And that's why Krishna is talking about, because not everybody is a pure Bhakta. So that's why he has to explain these things so that we understand how important it is to come to the point of not be attached to results. So that's why in the 18th chapter also Krishna is presenting, in the concluding chapter, Krishna is presenting the conclusion on the platform of Karma Mishra Bhakti, conclusion on the platform of Yoga Mishra Bhakti, conclusion on the platform of Dana Mishra Bhakti. Then is presenting the pure Bhakti also. So that's why we have to understand Gita very, very systematically. That's why self-study is not going to help. It is very difficult. We might read hundreds of times self-study. It's just not possible without Acharya's mercy, without reading Srila Prabhupada's books, in the association of devotees. Otherwise, there is no possibility to understand Gita. It will never be revealed. The revelation will come through Guru's mercy only. Through Lord, the parampara, through Guru's mercy only revelation will come. Otherwise, it will never be revealed. When it says most confidential, Lord Krishna openly speaking. But why is it more confidential? Because nobody else is going to understand. Even though Krishna is speaking, it will never be revealed. For Arjuna, it will be revealed immediately. Because he is submitted to Guru. Krishna himself is Guru in his case. But in our case, we must surrender to Guru, spiritual master. Otherwise, it will never be revealed. It will be covered. So that is very significant. But those who are mixed devotees, alloyed with fruitive action or empirical philosophical speculation, require an opportune moment for quitting this body. For them, the opportune moments are stated in Bhagavad Gita 8.23 to 26. This is the, like during the daylight, during the this Makara Sankranti, when the sun goes into Uttarayana, then the soul will go into, never come back into this material world. But he goes in the night time, leaves the body in the night time, or Dakshinayana, then he has to come back. But for devotee, there is no concept. He can leave at any time and at any place. He doesn't need to worry. If he is a sincere, fully submitted at the lotus feet of Guru and Supreme Lord, he doesn't need to worry at all. Lord will make sure, Guru will make sure that Lord will remember him and take care of him. That is the job of Guru. Provided we think he is the master and I am the servant. If we have that thing, then definitely that Guru will take care. But these opportune moments are not as important as once being successful yogi who is able to quit his body as he likes. Such a yogi must be competent to control his senses by the mind. The mind is easily conquered simply by engaging it at the lotus feet of the Lord. Gradually, by such service, all the senses become automatically engaged in the service of the Lord. That is the way of merging into the Supreme Absolute. Merging doesn't mean here, Prabhupada is talking about become equal with the Supreme Lord. No, we can never become equal. We can never become one. Quality, we become one. Quantity, we can never become. Yes, Madhumangal is snatching food from Lord Krishna's mouth, or Subal or Sridham jumping on Lord Krishna's body, or Lord Krishna carrying them. Doesn't mean that Lord Krishna has become, equal. No, they know that Lord Krishna is the only protector. They don't know that he is Supreme Lord, but they know that Krishna can protect them. That's why they are always asking Krishna, and we are hungry, or please help me, this demon, that. They know that Krishna is going to save. So they are ready to do. They know. So even though they don't know that Krishna is the Supreme Lord, but they know that Krishna can protect, Krishna will help. So that's why he is the only master. Everybody else is servant. So now we'll read from Chaitanya Mangal first, Chaitanya Bhagavat. Hope everything is clear. Anyone has doubts so far? What we discussed? Oops, something I clicked. Anyone has any questions till now? What we discussed? I hope it is clear. If not, put in the chat. We'll read. The time is already late. Lord Chaitanya visiting to South India. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. All glories to Narahari, whose Lord and life is Gadadhar Pandit. Please shower your mercy and cast a favorable glance upon me. Now I will describe the final pastimes of Lord Chaitanya. This ocean of nectar will flood the listener in transcendental bliss. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya happily passed his days and nights chanting the holy name of the Lord. After leaving Jagannath Puri, Gaurahari traveled south to Kurma Kshetra. In this village, he met two Brahmanas named Kurma and Vasudeva. This is leper Vasudeva. Kurma Brahman is another one. Seeing the astoundingly attractive form of Gauranga, they became purified and overwhelmed with spiritual ecstasy. Golden Mount Sumeru was standing before them with his auspicious hands and long arms hanging to his knees. Ajanulambita Bujo Kanakavadato Sankirtanaika Petro Kamalaya Vissambaro Dijavaro Yugadharma Palo Vande Jagat Priyakaro Karunavataro. Always Lord's arms are extending to its knees. Negrodha Parimandala, it is also called. So that's what has been mentioned here. Gaurahari's shoulders were strong, resembling those of a powerful lion. His captivating eyes were long, wide and expansive. The Brahmanas were convinced that Gaurachandra was indeed Sri Krishna himself. Radha Krishna, Nahi Anya. So, crying, they fell down on Lord Chaitanya's lotus feet. The whole world cried along with them. Lord Chaitanya picked up and embraced the two Brahmanas. In a sweet voice of Gauranga said, "O Brahmanas, please listen attentively. Why and for what purpose have you come to this world? In the age of Kali, the only religion is the congregational chanting of the holy name of Lord Hari. One who does Harinam Sankirtan possesses a rare and valuable treasure. Please always perform Sankirtan, dance happily, and let others take part. Thus, you will get liberated from material bondage." Finishing his preaching, Gauranga left there and traveling at a fast pace came to Jiyad Narsinga. This is the Narsinga temple. Jiyad Narsinga. This is Ahobilam we're talking about. Jiyad Narsinga. Jiyad Narsinga. Ahobilam temple or the Simhachalam, Visakhapatnam. I have to recollect. Let me see. I think when we read, we will know more. He was tasting the sweetest mood of Krishna Prema. The appearance of Jiyad Narsimha. So, appearance of, yeah. I forgot one pastime, something I could remember and I immediately forgot. Okay, we'll see. The appearance of Jiyad Narsimha. Listen carefully to the description of the appearance of Jiyad Narsimha. A farmer named Punriya Goyal once lived there. He grew a large crop of cucumbers and stayed awake every night guarding it. One night he didn't guard and a wild pig devoured the bunch of cucumbers. The next night he waited with a bow and arrow to kill the boar. The wild boar chanted Rama. When hit by the farmer's arrow, fled to a nearby mountain cave. Perplexed, the farmer wondered how a dull animal like a pig had chanted the name of Lord Rama. He thought it must be the Lord himself disguised as a boar. Standing outside the cave, the farmer called that wounded pig, "Who are you? Who are you?" There was no response. Afraid and sad within his heart, the farmer fasted for 2 days. He thought, "What have I done? I am the lowest, most sinful miscreant. There is no one more wretched than me." Feeling compassion for the farmer, the merciful Lord spoke to him from the sky. He said, "I am God himself. You have hurt me with your arrow because I ate your cucumbers. Now don't worry, just go home." The farmer became downcast and kept on fasting. Again the Lord spoke from the sky. "You foolish farmer, why are you suffering so much for nothing? You have not committed any offense, so stop fasting and go home." The farmer said, "I have hurt you with my arrows, so what is the use of my life? Even if I die, I can't escape my offense. Yamaraja, the god of death, will punish me by whipping and beating me. How can I purify myself?" The Lord replied, "You haven't committed any offense. Don't worry. I am unlimitedly pleased with you." So the other aspect of this yoga we are describing, Prabhupada mentioned also in the purport, giving pleasure to the Supreme Lord. We may be desireless. That doesn't mean they are Anukulya and Krishnanusilam. So one quality is one must please the Supreme Lord and Guru. It must be pleasing to our eyes. So that's why we must ask ourselves, did we ever ask? Yes, we are asking our son and daughter, this is good, that is good, this sabji, this, this, you like that. But did we ever ask Guru, did we ever ask Prabhupada, did we ever ask Supreme Lord, or you are liking my cooking, you want this thing, you want that thing, what do you like? Please tell me, reveal me, what do you want? What is not good, what is not correct, what I am doing wrong, how can I improve, how can I please you? If you don't ask, how will you reveal? You're asking, child is revealing, I like this, I want this only, I don't want to eat this, I want to eat that. This is happening within the family, but what's happening with him? Then Krishna is not in our family. If you want to become Achyuta Gotra, Achyuta Bhava Varjita, then we must deal personally. If we become impersonal, then how is it going? How is he going to reciprocate? Where is love? Where is the master and servant relationship? So we are not acting as a servant. If you are servant, then we ask master, what master wants. Servant will never act in such a way that I will do what I like. No. Servant will act always what master likes. So that is the important aspect. That is another third one. Utter dependence, never give up service. Third is always this is for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord. Gopis are always trying to please the Supreme Lord. They are not thinking about what is going to happen to me, what rest of the whole world will think of me, chastise me or give ill names to me. They didn't care. They didn't care less. The same thing with the Brahmana Patnis. They didn't care about their husband said, no, you cannot take all this paraphernalia. Lord Krishna sent the court boys, they are hungry. But they are not ready to give. They are engaged in sacrifice. They are busy with that regulative principles. They are busy with the rules and regulations. No love. No love, then no mercy. No love, then you can't enter. You can't enter into Vaikuntha. We'll be here. Not by austerities, not by rules and rules and regulations are important because we must have proper etiquette. Vaishnava Sadaj, all these things are important. But that's not the end. That is just pre-qualification. That's just to bring us to the right path. But actual thing is we need genuine love. So that way the servant means servant has to do service with love. Servant must reciprocate what master wants, not what we want. That it is not a whimsical. That's why it must be, these things will be revealed and understood by the mercy of the acharyas, not by our own ideas, thoughts, self-study. It's not going to work. It's not going to be revealed. So here it is further. The farmer said, I have heard you with my arrows here. The Lord replied, you haven't committed any offense. Don't worry. I am unlimitedly pleased with you. The farmer, then all is well. On your assurance, I will give up my fear. But how do I know that I am free from the offense of shooting arrows at the boar? If I can see you with my eyes, then I will be satisfied. Then I will inform the king and you should be the witness. If you become the witness, I will be very pleased. The Lord, all right, I will fulfill your desire and give this boon to you. Hearing this, the farmer joyfully ran to the king's place. When he came to the palace gate, he said, listening, gatekeeper, listen, gatekeeper, please inform the king of my unique and wonderful story. The king will enjoy it. Next, the farmer was let into the palace to tell the king his story. The king became astonished to hear that God has taken the form of boar and taken to the farmer. Yeah, this is the Jiyad Narsimha means Simhachalam. Yes, because Varaha Narsimha. This is Varaha is boar, up boar. That's why it looks a little not straight. And he is covered. He is so powerful because Narsinga, Varaha Narsinga. So that's why powerful. The whole year is covered with chandan to cool down is that angry mood, killing Hiranyakashipu. Many other pastimes are there in this Simhachalam. This is in Visakhapatnam, coastal area, close to Orissa and close to the Srikakulam and other Vijayanagaram. So that area. That is what Jiyad Narasimha, I remember. Next, the farmer was let in. Is this really true? Asked the king. Yes, my lord, answered the farmer. Let's go there together. Then your doubts will be destroyed. God will keep his promise to me and tell me you everything. The king said, if I hear God give his order, then I will become your servant for the rest of my life. The king and the farmer walked into the mountain cave where the boar was staying. The king fell prostrate before the cave's entrance and offered prayers to God. Lord's heart melted to see the king's sincerity and humility. The Lord said, O king, believe the words of the farmer. Now pour milk into this cave and you will attain me. Delighted to hear the Lord speaking, the king dutifully poured milk into the cave. Suddenly, from under the ground, the top knot of hair came into the view. Realizing that the deity form of the Lord was manifesting, everyone became blissful and started chanting the names of Hari and playing with musical instruments. As more milk was poured, more the Lord's transcendental form appeared. The head and the face, chest, arms, belly, and thighs. Although they kept pouring milk, the Lord chose not to reveal his lotus feet. From the sky, the Lord said, You will not see my feet, so don't pour any more milk. The king felt ecstatic to have witnessed the appearance of the Lord. However, he also lamented not being able to see the Lord's sweet lotus feet. He arranged a huge mahotsav to honor the deity with opulent food, offerings, dresses, and arati. While gazing at the Lord with the love and devotion, the king's heart overflowed with satisfaction. One day, a merchant and two women came from there to take darshan of the deity. After seeing the deity, the merchant paid obeisances and walked out of the temple. Abruptly, the temple door slammed behind the merchant, leaving the two women locked inside. Through the door, and they heard the two ladies talking to the Lord. In great anxiety, the merchant loudly prayed to the Lord. The merciful Lord responded by unlocking the temple door. The merchant saw the most astonishing thing when he re-entered. The two women had turned into stone and were standing beside the Lord. Considering himself most fortunate, the merchant fell down at the Lord's feet, praying, O Lord, please give me the boon that you will be named after me. My parents gave me the name Jiyada. So, my Lord, I desire that you take this name. This is a story behind the deity named Jiyada Narasimha. Lochandas gladly sings the glories of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So there are more pastimes of Ramananda Rai, but I'll have to read from Chaitanya Bhagavat now. So that we understand. So what we from this verse also more Ramananda. This is Sarvam Bhattacharya Mahaprabhu showing six-armed form. It's a very long chapter though. We'll see how much we can cover. Some of the verses we'll cover. Jaya Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Gunadhama Jaya Jaya Nityananda Swarupera Prana. All glories to Sri Krishna Chaitanya, the reservoir of all transcendental qualities. All glories to life and soul of Nityananda Swarupa. All glories to Lord of Vaikuntha, who is an ocean of mercy. All glories to the crest jewel of all sannyasis and friend of the poor. O brothers, hear with attention the topics of Antyakanda, wherein Sri Gaurasundar pastimes are described. The topics of Sri Gaurasundara Gauranga are the essence of all nectar. Such nectar is always desired by the personalities like Brahma and Shiva. Therefore, simply by hearing the topics of Sri Chaitanya, everyone except the miscreant becomes pleased. Here the confidential topics of Lord Chaitanya described in the Antyakanda, for by hearing these topics one will certainly attain Krishna. This way Sri Gaurasundara concealed his identity while happily residing in Nilachal. Who has the power to know him if he does not reveal himself? By the arrangement of providence of the Lord, one day sat down in a solitary place with Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. The Lord said, Listen, Sarvabhauma Mahasaya, let me reveal my heart to you. Although I came to see Jagannath dekite yehi ailam ami, uddeshya amara mula etha chatumi. My main purpose here was to meet you. While Jagannath speak to me, it is you who will completely destroy my material bondage. You are fully empowered by Lord Krishna, so you are able to afford one loving devotion service to Krishna. Therefore, I take shelter of you. Do whatever you consider is beneficial for me. What rules and regulations should I follow? How should I live? Please instruct me. This is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asking Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself, but he is asking indirectly to teach Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. He was a great scholar, Mayavadi though. That's why it is very important to know. Please instruct me so that I do not fall into the well of material life. Please instruct me without reservation. Know for certain that I am the soul surrendered to you. In this way, Gaurahari used various means to delude Sarvabhauma while speaking to him. That's why one who thinks he is scholar and a master, this delusion will happen. Avaranatmika Shakti and Prakshepatmika Shakti. It will never, actual confidential meanings will never be revealed to the person. If he thinks he is the master and scholar, it will never be revealed. Without realizing the Lord's intention, Sarvabhauma began to speak about the religious duties of living entities. Sarvabhauma said, I appreciate everything you have said. The devotion that has awakened in you is certainly most wonderful and beyond description. You have attained Krishna's mercy, but you have done one thing that is improper. Although you are most intelligent, why did you take sannyas? That's why this is why Mahaprabhu is speaking like this to Sarvam Bhattacharya. Just consider what is the use of accepting sannyas. One immediately becomes bound by the ropes of false ego. One who carries danda considers himself a great person and does not fold his hands before anyone. A sannyasi is not afraid to accept obeisance from such a personality that the Vedas declare the dust of his feet should be respected. False ego is never good. Try to understand the words of Srimad Bhagavatam in this regard. Realizing that Supreme Personality of Godhead has entered the body of every living entity as super soul, one should offer obeisance before all, even the dogs, outcasts, cows, and as is falling flat upon the ground like a rod. You should offer full obeisance to all living entities, including the Brahmanas, dogs, and dog eaters. Vaishnava etiquette is to offer respects to everyone, but one who is a hypocrite has no attachment for this. The only gain in giving up one's Sikha, Brahmana thread is that respectable people offer one their obeisances. This is the first loss in accepting sannyas. Now hear about the other laws by which one's intelligence becomes polluted. The constitutional duty of the living entity is to worship the Supreme Lord, but after taking sannyas, one gives up that worship and calls himself Narayana. The Supreme Lord protects the living entity when he is within the womb of his mother. By the Lord's mercy, that living entity obtains intelligence and knowledge. Ananta, Sesha, Brahma, Shiva, the goddess of fortune, always desire to obtain the service of that Supreme Lord whose servants carry out the creation, maintenance, and destruction of the material manifestation. Yet the shameless sannyasi claims to be the Supreme Lord. A sannyasi claims to be Narayana, even though he does not know who he is within when he sleeps. The Vedas declare that Krishna is the father of the entire universe. The obedient son will respect his father. I am the father of this universe, mother, the support, and grandsire. Now hear what Narayana said to Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita after renouncing one's duty. See, the same aspect coming. Say exact verse. I didn't go in detail, but this is mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Anasritya karma phalam karyam karma karodi asa sannyasi cha yogi jana niragni cha kriya. Verse number 40, chapter 3, Chaitanya Bhagavat, Antya Kanda, part 1. Exact same verse of Bhagavad Gita what we read today. One who is unattached to the fruits of his work and who works as he is obligated is in the renounced order of life, and he is the true mystic, not he who lights no fire and performs no duty. Still Rupa Goswami Prabhupada ki jai. He has pointed me to the right direction. One who worships Krishna without any selfish desires is called yogi and a sannyasi. The Vedas clearly state that if one does not worship Vishnu and depends on others for his food, he cannot make any advancement. This is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu speaking. Real religious principles, activities, and proper codes of conduct are those by which one develops love for the Supreme Lord. Real education, chanting of the mantras, study of the scriptures are those by which one fixes his mind at the lotus feet of Krishna. Krishna is the life and father of everyone. Everything is useless for one who does not worship Krishna. If you say that the philosophy of Shankaracharya does not agree with this, then I will quote his words to prove that he desired the service of the Lord. So this is not a problem with Shankaracharya. Shankaracharya is the Amsha of Lord Shiva. He has come for a specific purpose to establish something. Because before that there was a situation. For that circumstance, what Shankaracharya has to do, he has done it. But he has given the conclusions at the end. So the one who is a real disciple of Shankaracharya, then he will understand his real conclusions. Then he will come to the shelter of Lord Krishna. But otherwise it will be bewildering. Because that's where he came to bewilder. He came to bewilder. He came. And then for those who are sincere, then he will reveal the right path. Govindam bhaja Govindam. Narayana Paravyaktat. So many things. Finally he said, Shankaracharya. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will speak further. You can see. We'll see. O Lord, although the living entities and the Supreme Brahman are not different, the living entities are subordinate to you. In other words, their existence is dependent on you. However, you are never dependent on anyone. Although there is no difference between the ocean and its waves, the existence of the waves is dependent on the ocean. The ocean is never dependent on the waves. So this is a significant point. That's what we have to understand. Master and servant, Supreme Lord and the Jiva. Completely. Although there is no difference between the Supreme Lord and this material world, he is present everywhere as the complete whole. Still I have come from you. You have never come from me. As people say, those waves of the ocean, they will never say that ocean of the waves. Waves of the ocean, correct. Jiva is made after God. It is not God made after man, after Jiva. It's the other way. Therefore, you are the proprietor and father of the universe. You are the protector in this life and the next. Anyone who does not worship the person from whom he is born, by whom he is maintained, is fit to be rejected. These are the statements and intentions of Sankaracharya. Is giving Sankaracharya. Why would one shave his head without understanding this? A sannyasi should constantly chant the name of Narayana with love and devotion. Those who do not understand Shankaracharya's intention and give up devotion service suffer even after shaving their heads. We wish to deliver the world by distributing devotion service to Lord Krishna, then what need is there to give up your Shikha and Brahmana thread? We may say that great personalities like Madhavendra Puri have also given up the Shikhas and Brahmana threads. Still, you are not ready to accept sannyas. All these great souls realized material enjoyment and took sannyas after 3/4 of their life had passed. You have just entered the prime of your life. So how can you be qualified to take sannyas? Oh, this is Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya speaking. What is the use of accepting sannyas when you have already developed such devotional sentiments? This devotional service is rarely attained by even the best of the yogis. So why have you made such a mistake? After hearing Sarvabhauma's glorification of devotional service, Lord Gauranga became greatly pleased. Lord said, listen, Sarvabhauma, do not consider me a sannyasi. I left home and shaved my head because I was disturbed by feelings of separation from Krishna. Forget that I am a sannyasi. Bestow your mercy on me so that my mind becomes fixed on Krishna. When the Supreme Lord bewilders his own servant in this way, how will his servants understand him? Who has the power to know the Lord if he does not reveal himself? The Lord is greatly pleased with whatever his servant speaks, even if the servant lacks proper knowledge. The Lord always enjoys pastime with his servants. He incarnates for the sake of his servants. Because he himself is Brahaspati. Here, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was not ordinary, he was a scholar. As the devotee worships lotus feet of Krishna, Krishna reciprocates with that servant. In a similar way, the nature of the Supreme Lord is that he is affectionate to his devotees. That is the most significant. The most important quality is Bhakta Vatsala. Bhakta Vatsala. So one must come to that point. Bhakta Vatsala. He is the dearmost. That's why he is telling Suhrudam Sarvabhutanam. Gnatmama. Yatteham Premanaya. Again and again he is speaking. In the 10th chapter beginning. You are the dearmost. That's why I am speaking most confidential. Further he speaks. Even on 14th chapter also he is telling. This is more confidential even than 9th, 10th. In the sense, but there is a different connotation and context to it. When we come to that time, that chapter, then we will discuss. As the devotee worships the lotus feet of Krishna, Krishna reciprocates with the servant in similar way. The nature of the Supreme Lord is that he is affectionate to his devotees who has the power to change that nature. The Lord smiled and as he looked at Sarvabhauma, yet Sarvabhauma could not understand the Lord's word, for he was bewildered by the Lord's illusory energy. Sarvabhauma said, you are senior to me in my ashram. So according to the scriptures, you are worshipful. I am to worship you. It is not proper that you offer prayers to me, for this will make me an offender. The Lord said, give up all your deception. I have taken full shelter of you. In this way, the Lord performs pastimes with his servant. Who can understand the pastimes of Gaurasundara? The Lord said, I have one desire. I wish to hear Srimad Bhagavatam from your mouth. Only you are able to remove whatever doubts I have. Sarvabhauma said, I know well that you are well versed in all fields of knowledge. Is there any meaning of Srimad Bhagavatam that you do not know? How then can I teach you? Still, it is the nature of pious persons to discuss devotion service among themselves. Tell me, what particular verse do you have some doubt about? I will try to explain it to the best of my ability. The Lord of Vaikuntha then smiled and recited one verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. Then in the presence of, that is the important verse, 61st verse, I think, Atma Ramascha Manayo, exact verse, the yogi, Astanga yogi process, this and that goes together. Atma Ramascha Manayo Nirgante api urakrame kurvante ahaitu kim bhaktim ittam bhota guno hari. How many variations Chaitanya Mahaprabhu discusses? I don't know. In this, I think it may not have given. It is in Chaitanya Charitamrita. In other places, 61 interpretations, 61 different meanings. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives just this one verse. Atma Rama 60, not one. You can understand. This is the presence of Gaurachandra, the husband of Saraswati, and by his mercy, Sarvabhauma began to explain this verse. Atma Rama, all the different varieties of Atma Ramas, those who take pleasure in Atma or spirit self, especially those established on the path of self-realization, though freed from all kinds of material bondage, desire to render unalloyed devotion service unto the personality of Godhead. This means that the Lord possesses transcendental opulence qualities and therefore can attract everyone, including liberated souls. Now let's see what how Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya describes it. Sarvabhauma said, the true meaning of this verse is that devotion service to the lotus feet of Krishna is the original truth. Those who are internally and externally always completely liberated from material bondage render devotion service to Krishna. Such is the powerful influence of Krishna's qualities. Liberated souls sing the glories of Krishna's qualities and names, while those who disrespect them are vanquished. In this way, Sarvabhauma put forth various arguments as he explained the verse with full concentration. After explaining the verse in 13 different ways, he stopped and said, I am unable to speak further. Lord Gaurasundara smiled and said, whatever you explained is certainly true. Now hear my explanations and decide whether they are authorized. Sarvabhauma Mahasaya became struck with wonder as he thought further explanations are beyond the ability of a human being. The Lord then explained the meaning in his own ways, which no one at any time could conceive. Sarvabhauma was astonished to hear Lord's explanations and thought, is he the Supreme Lord? After explaining the verse, the Lord roared loudly and manifested his six-armed form. The Lord said, O Sarvabhauma, what do you think? Am I not qualified to take sannyas? Do you think that I am a mere sannyasi? I came here for your sake. You have spent many lifetimes trying to attain love for me. Therefore, I am revealing myself to you. I have incarnated to inaugurate the Sankirtan movement. Throughout the innumerable universe, I alone am qualified. You are my purely devoted servant, birth after birth. Therefore, I have revealed myself to you. So, I will deliver the pious and annihilate the miscreant. Do not worry, just offer prayers to me. The six-armed form of the Lord was most wonderful and as effulgent as millions of suns. Sarvabhauma lost consciousness on seeing that form. The six-armed Lord Gaurachandra then roared loudly in ecstasy. This is when he composed 100 verses on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. One of the verses, I will mention it, or it might be there here. Let's see. The Lord was greatly pleased with Sarvabhauma. He placed his lotus hand on Sarvabhauma's head. He placed his lotus hand on Sarvabhauma's head and said, get up. By the touch of Lord's lotus hand, the Brahmana regained consciousness, yet he remained speechless and stunned in ecstasy. Lord Sri Gaurasundar, the ocean of mercy, then placed his feet on Sarvabhauma's chest. Having received the touch of Lord's lotus feet, Sarvabhauma Mahasaya became completely filled with transcendental ecstasy. He tightly grabbed the Lord's lotus feet and cried in ecstasy while saying, today I have captured the thief who stole my heart. Sarvabhauma cried pathetically as he held those wonderful lotus feet which are the wealth of Rama, the goddess of fortune. Rama, the goddess of fortune. O Lord Sri Krishna Chaitanya, my life and soul, please glance mercifully on this fallen soul. I am so sinful that I dared to teach you the religious principles. I did not understand your pure, inconceivable glories. O Lord, who does not become bewildered by your illusory energy, which bewilders even the best of the great yogis. So it is not at all astonishing that you have bewildered me. Now please bestow one on me, loving devotion service at your lotus feet. All glories to Sri Krishna Chaitanya. Jaya Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Pranana. Jaya Jaya Sachi Punyavati Garbha Jata. The Lord of my life, all glories to you who have taken birth from the womb of pious Sachi. All glories to Sri Krishna Chaitanya, the life and soul of all. All glories to the protector of the Vedas, Brahmana, saintly person, and religious principles. Jaya Jaya Vaikuntadi Lokera Isvara. Jaya Jaya Suddha Sattva Rupa Nyasivara. All glories to the Lord of the Vaikunta planet. All glories to the best of the sannyas whose form consists of pure goodness. The supremely intelligent, broad-minded Sarvabhauma repeatedly offered obeisance and recited various verses. Let my consciousness, which is like a honey bee, take shelter of the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who has just now appeared as Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to teach the ancient system of devotional service to himself. This system had almost been lost due to the influence of time. When in the course of time devotional service became lost, the Lord incarnated as Sri Krishna Chaitanya to again manifest his own devotional service. May my mind remain attached to his lotus feet. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Nama Prabhu Avatar Thandra Pada Padme Chitta Rahuka Mar. Let me take, this is the verse, this is the important verse out of 100 verses Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya composed right away, just because he was Brahaspati, he was a great scholar. Vairagya Vidya Nijabhakti Yoga Sikshardam Eka Purusha Purana Sri Krishna Chaitanya Sariradari Krupam Buddhist Yastam Aham Prapadde. Let me take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Sri Krishna, who has descended in the form of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to teach us the real knowledge, his devotion service, and detachment from whatever does not foster Krishna consciousness. He has descended because he is an ocean of transcendental mercy. Let me surrender unto his lotus feet. The Lord has incarnated in this world to reveal His own devotion service along with renunciation. The form of Sri Krishna Chaitanya is the original personality of Godhead. There is no one greater than or equal to Him within the three worlds. Let the qualities, names, and lotus feet of such an ocean of mercy constantly manifest in my heart. Hena Krupa Sindhura Charana Gunanama Spruhak Amara Hrudayera Avirama. Ye Mata Saravoma Sata Sloka Kari Suti Kare Chaitanya Pada Padma Dhari. In this way, Saravoma composed 100 verses as he glorified Lord Chaitanya while holding his lotus feet. I'll stop here and we will continue this next Friday class from that verse onwards. So, any questions? Quick question. Already 8:36. So, thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Gandhras Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Chaitanya चैतामृत चैतन्य भागवत की जय, शुभपाद की जय, गौर भक्त की जय।